Good morning, my loves. Happy Monday. It's about 5 a.m. here at the lake, and it's going to be warm today. High today's 92, so I am in a dress, ready for the weather, I think. Am I ready for the office? That's the question. It is cold in there. We'll see how it goes. It's Monday. I want everybody to go out into the world, go out to the office, go to school with a positive attitude. I want you to have a positive lens on because we receive what we give, what you put out in the world. So try to get out there and be as positive as you can. Be kind and compassionate. Be yourself, but be nice. Over the weekend, I talked to a family that is really having a problem, and it's one they didn't foresee coming. And it was, I don't know if I would call it a parenting mistake or just the way life worked out, and a lot of life lessons. It's a lovely family of 4. Kids are older, they're out of college. One is fairly newly out of college, like within a few months out of college, just now graduating. Got her job, which is great. Lovely family. However, they play rough. They joke and they tease. They pull pranks on each other. They insult each other as jokes. The mom is very flirtatious even when the dad's around. The dad's flirtatious even when the mom is around. And their family, that's the norm. The kids were raised, this is the norm. The parents have, of course, being older, have learned boundaries. You don't behave like this at work. You don't behave like this in public. The oldest child learned, we don't behave like this in public. No. The younger child has not learned this, and they got a new job that I assume they like. They didn't say if they liked it or didn't. I talked to the whole family, and the child goes to work, and your first 90 days, whatever it is, they were doing great. Everybody liked them. They respected them. They were on their best behavior. And then their true personality started coming out. They started being very flirtatious. And I don't mean, from what I was told, I don't mean just eye batting and a little nudges. I mean very inappropriate flirtation in the workplace. They were pranking people. They were saying kind of very rude things to people and would say, "Oh, I'm just joking. Can't you take a joke?" You have to remember, not everybody's raised like this. This is not the norm in every family. Not everybody enjoys this type of personality. Not everybody was raised to appreciate this. In my family, my dad, was silly. He had a silly side. My mom, not so much. My brother would tease rough. So personally, I'm very sensitive and I'm very aware of this stuff. I do not appreciate it. If I date somebody and I find out they're that type of person, we're done. That's it. No second chances. No, I'm sorry. I'll do better. It's who you are. It's not who I am. It's not going to work. See you, bye. Please explain to your children early on about boundaries. What's said at home, the behaviors at home are fine at home, but maybe they're not okay at school. Maybe they're not okay in the workplace. Please, this child is about to lose their job. They have been called into HR twice already. Third strike, they're going to lose their job. And now it's kind of like it's too late. Because the child, and I shouldn't say a child, they're in their 20s, but they don't see anything wrong with their behavior. They think it's everybody else's wrong except them. The child is very immature. She is not emotionally mature enough to have a job like she has. Does she have the qualifications? Maybe. Does she have the intelligence? Absolutely. But she is not emotionally mature enough to work in an office setting, a professional office setting. If it was a laid-back office, maybe. A professional office, definitely not, because they never learned about the boundaries. They never learned how to behave in that environment. Please talk to your kids. Make sure they know. It's like You can act one way at home, and you go to church, mosque, or synagogue, and you act appropriately. You go to grandma's house, you act appropriately. You go to Aunt Mary's, you act appropriately. Well, the same thing applies. Or maybe when they're, in these environments, maybe that's how they still behave. And you have to stop and ask yourself as a parent, were these learned behaviors? Did I teach my child that it's okay to do this? Your child is never too old to sit them down and say, hey, look, I think you need to make some changes. The conversation yesterday with this family, the parents were, oh my God, I thought they knew, I thought they would have figured it out. Well, honey, they didn't. And that falls in your lap because you needed to make sure that they did. The older sibling wasn't there, but they had talked to the older sibling, and the older sibling is kind of like, well, I figured it out. Why can't they? Well, that's a good point, but you're not being helpful, but thank you. But the child is just, it's not my problem. It's everybody else. Why can't they take a joke? Life is not a sorority. Life is not a fraternity. Life is not a party. It's great to have a job and enjoy your job. But when you are at your job, be professional. In our office, we all like to have a nice time. And there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of chatting, a lot of talking, but we're busy. We're busy talking to clients. I have, people that show up that I have to speak to in person. You have to be professional, even with your coworkers. You can joke a little bit, you can tease a little bit, but you have to understand the boundaries. It's not a game. It's not a joke. And when someone's, how can I put it? When you're made to feel uncomfortable at work, it's called a toxic work environment. That's not cool. And that will follow you to your next job, because if you're fired at one job for being a toxic employee, word's going to spread that you stir shit, that you're a troublemaker, that you don't play well with others, that you're not professional, you don't take your job seriously. So please check your behavior. If you're going to act a fool at home, act a fool with your friends. Don't bring it into the workplace. Your coworkers don't appreciate it. HR doesn't appreciate it. And it will follow you. Other than that, I just had to bring that up because I have a feeling if it's happening in one family, it's happening in others. Check your behavior. Check your kids' behavior. Teach them boundaries. Teach them respect. Respect for themselves, respect for others, respect for teachers, for people in authority, for bosses. It's important. Have an amazing Monday. It's going to be a beautiful day. Get out there and make it as special as you are.